Free Medical are being auctioned off, with all proceeds being donated to these organizations. Scan the QR code around the stadium to bid and get your bids in. The auction closes Sunday at 6 p.m. Moneyball Sportswear is the official kit supplier of Lansing Common FC. For over 19 years, Moneyball has shown an incredible commitment to the sporting community in Mid-Michigan, and Lansing Common are proud to share in that commitment. Moneyball offers an unmatched blend of customized team uniforms, high-quality products, and affordable prices. If you want your team to stand out on the field, reach out to them at moneyballsportswear.com. Lansing Common FC is proud to have Beyond Horizons Tours and Travel as its official transportation partner this season. When we hit the road this season, we couldn't have thought of a better company to travel with. Find them online at beyondhorizonstours.com. We're excited to have Metronet as the official fiber-to-home provider of Lansing Common FC. Metronet provides fiber optic telecommunication services in the Lansing area, including high-speed fiber internet and a variety of programming and products. We're proud to have Metronet as a partner because of their commitment to the communities they serve. questions heading for tonight's matchup between Inter Detroit and your Lansing Common Football Club. On the visiting side, starting in the net, we have number 55, Brandon Rosicki. At defense, number 53, Casey McCarthy. Another defender, number 32, Diego Perez. Defender number 13, Davion Page. At defense number 2, Nick Yono. At midfield number 77, Gavin Brose. At midfield number 18, Gabe Balon. Midfield number 10, Diego Barajas. Midfield number 8, Peyton Trask. Forward number 88, Zach Townsend. And at forward number 11, Edwin Rodriguez.
It's been a long summer. It all culminates into one game as Lansing Common takes on Inter Detroit here at Eastern Stadium. Good evening, everybody. Cameron McLaren here, joined alongside Luca Maloney, Luke Sloan, and a special guest that will be in the broadcast booth tonight. Coach Josh Oakley is here in the press box, but before we get to him, Luca, this is a game with title implications. Silverware can be won tonight if either of these two teams takes the full 3 points. And taking a look at what has already gone on here in the past month of June, what have you seen, or not June, in July, what have you seen from this Lansing Common team that has put them into a position for a title trophy tonight?
I've seen a team that is hungry to win, hungry to learn, and most importantly, they care about this club and this community, just like all the fans here in attendance tonight. So you've seen these guys prepare in the past week. They're pumped, they're ready, and they're ready to give it all for 90 minutes.
And with that, we're going to take a little bit of a look here inside some of the starting lineups, and it's the same starting 11 for Lansing Common as they rolled out last Sunday against Michigan Stars. The triple trio attack of Gershom Sullivan and Ramsey Shaheen and Ty Uziak up top. Munir Shirali, the midfield magista again. In his role, Mark Wishmeyer and Julian Burge, the other two central defending midfielders. And then the back four that has been a staple for this Lansing Common team for a majority of this season of Landon Hungerford, Jack Lockerbie, Kevin Payne, and Zane Arnold will all be starting tonight's game. And in between the sticks, the club's all-time single-season save leader, Ethan Brandt. He's made 48 saves all season, and Luca, he may need to make a few more tonight if Lansing wants to win some silverware.
Ethan Brandt's been the backbone of this Lansing Common team for this whole season now. He's such a keeper that is ready to be the #1 at Western Michigan next season. He'll have competition, but he's not scared of that. Ethan Brandt, a comfortable player on his hands and with his feet. He's made some incredible saves. He said he doesn't like to make many saves during the game because that just speaks about the defending of his team. But he's ready to put his body on the line for Lansing Common.
And flipping over now to Inter Detroit starting lineup in between the sticks, Brandon Reski, a native of Marysville, Michigan. He gets the nod tonight. A back four of Casey McCarthy, Diego Perez, Davion Page, and Nick Yono. That will be the back four. Into the midfield, Gavin Brose, Gabe Balon, Diego Barajas, and Peyton Trask will be starting for Metro Detroit's team. And up top, two forwards, Zach Townsend and Edwin Rodriguez. They'll be the front two, and nonetheless, it's a little bit of a firepower, but nothing that stands out much more. And then I believe, Luca, in a very tall back four of Inter Detroit. Multiple guys over 6 feet, but what does Lansing have to do, especially to get on a to get started on a quick note and get a fast start that head coach Brent Sorg has always been pushing for this past month?
Like you said, Brent Sorg's been pushing for a team that wins the ball back quick and can immediately attack. But not just attack with any nonsense. They're attacking with intelligence, with precision, on the way to goal.
And I guess this will be a good opportunity to introduce our fourth member of the broadcast crew today, former head coach Josh Oakley. Coach, how are you doing today? How are you feeling going into this last 90 of the season?
I got to be honest, Cam. A little bit weird. Never imagined taking in a Lansing Common game next to you fellas, who've been phenomenal for the club for the last 2 years, and then Luke here for this year. But just like the other, 800 people here, it's good enough just to be here in the building, in the stadium, to witness the culmination of, I think, what we tried to put the ball rolling into many, many months ago. So enjoy it. Enjoy the ride. It's been a heck of a good ride, and let's see if we can cap it off with something special tonight.
All right, quick score predictions before the first whistle. Oaks?
I will not predict.
Sloan?
Pressure is a privilege for this team. That was the message in training Thursday. I will also not predict. I will fall in line with Coach.
Defer.
I do defer.
That is better. Well said from everybody in the booth as we are just about to get underway for one final time between my partner and I, Luca Maloney. And for the final time here in 2022, it's a title game. One game, 90 minutes, and it all starts in a few seconds once the center referee finally waves everybody to play on. I was trying to time that correctly.
I think, Cam, if I can offer a little bit of insight into that, this week has been a really fun week for the club, for the community, build up to this. I think, though, the game, if you want a prediction from me, this game is going to be won by the team that can best handle the scenario and the pressure involved in this type of a match. Really, it is about this game, but this has been about so much more. This has been about very, very many days culminating to this point. So when you take a young team like we have here at Lansing Common, sometimes it's very, very, very important just to play and stay within the minute.
And there's Shaheen trying to get on the end of a
right
ball.
away. Right away. Good
That was a
little play.
lovely ball from Gershom Sylvan. Just a slight tap past the defender for Ramsey to Shaheen to run onto that. And it's starting early, Cam.
Indeed it is. Davion Page able to win that tackle as the ball went off of Shaheen's shin pad, and trying to get on the front foot is Lansing Common. And Coach Oaks, you were pretty much the mastermind behind this team last year in terms of getting on the front foot early.
Well, it's one of the objectives the guys have, and those objectives remain the same. So I think it is important. There's percentages that you can play on the team that scores the first goal. This team has proven, though, they can come from any direction and win matches. So
and there's a lovely
good
ball.
little skip ball there, and he's on.
Sylvan, one-on-one with Page. Sylvan, he'll hit the byline, try to put one in, and scuffed the left-footed volley attempt. It'll roll out for another goal kick for Reski. But good showing early from the Robins, who are in their all-white charity kits going from right to left in this half. Enter Detroit and their most noted dark black and green kits going from left to right to start things off here in Lansing.
Good start for the Robins. I think that back to my point on the pressure situation, I think when you have two teams in a game like this, there's tendencies to overdo everything, tendencies to overplay, overthink, overcoach, and one of these teams is going to do just that. And it's really on the other team to hit that right when they need to. And I think that's what's going to favor, that's going to be the decider in a game such as this. So I don't know if you guys have seen, I've been watching a lot of the World Track and Field Championships and watching the sprints. I made reference to this not too long ago, watching the sprints, and it's always the sprinters. Come on, G.
Sullivan trying to win a one-on-one.
It's good effort.
Committing to foul in the process, but as you were saying,
it's always the sprinters that seem the most relaxed that tend to win the gold medal. And that's really what this game is right now. It's the gold medal game. So when you look at the sprinters out there that are struggling, it's the ones that are fighting against themselves. So really that's what it's all about for me and about this team. And if we can just relax and play our game, I'm really, really confident in our guys.
And, Coach, I got a quick question for you. How did that recruiting process for Gershom Sylvan look like, trying to get him to play for Lansing?
That's a great, great question. It was the easiest job I think anyone could do. He was the first signing of this year. Happened in January. Happened with a phone call. And of course, the consummate, humble, professional type young man that Gersh is, he basically said, no question, I want to represent my community. I want to play for Lansing Common. It was that easy.
That's a brilliant story, Coach.
And I may add, he's doing a phenomenal job of doing that.
We'll get a late whistle here as Hungerford committing the foul on Barajas. Is a little bit of a square ball and a square pass from Jack Lockerbie. Not something we've seen from him lately. Of course, those two, both Hungerford and Lockerbie, connecting on the equalizing goal last Sunday against Michigan Stars U23 side. A game that was led by Stars for the first half hour until Hungerford scored his first as a Robin. It'll be Balon to take it. The in-swinger trying to find the head of Page. It'll be cleared but not out. Yono. Once again, looking for Page.
You know, and Lockerby's been one of those bright spots coming into this team. You know, he's played the left back and center back position for Lansing Common, and he just looks so comfortable in there. We talked to him earlier this week. He's very happy to keep representing this community.
Gershom Sylvan, 5 goals this season for the Robins, scoring the late winner last weekend, and a little bit of a 50-50. Referee plays on Burge.
That's great counter pressing from the captain.
Julian Burge, who's a question mark in today's lineup, it wasn't really at 100% fitness in training earlier this week, but here he is in the starting lineup, and for me, it's no surprise. He's a calming presence on the pitch. He's obviously the captain of this team, and they need a voice, and it's Julian Burge.
As Burge blazes a 30-yarder well within the uprights, but it's not the right sport that's being played on this pitch tonight. And it seems as though Lansing Common, in a game last weekend where they did not control a lot of possession, they controlled a lot of meaningful possession, but not overall possession, seeming to be a little bit more comfortable today, especially in front of this, what is going to possibly be a record-setting home crowd.
Yeah, I was about to say, Cam, I've never seen the parking lot of Eastern Stadium that packed in the 2 seasons we've covered this team.
And there's a very good defensive effort by Kevin Payne to win his side of throw, and as Townsend and him were interlocked in a one-on-one. Just over 6 minutes played in this first half, and no chances really for either side so far. It's Mark Wishmeyer being told to get back up after he received a shove from Barajas in the middle of the park. Perez looking for options. We'll go to Page. To Yoda. Bros. Barajas pressured there immediately. And Shaheen able to skip around Balon, but it'll roll out for a throw-in for Inter Detroit.
It was a clever flick past the Inter Detroit defense. Rolls out.
So you guys see early on here, there's ebbs and flows. Not happy right now with the tempo of the game being played, in my opinion. There's certain things we can do, I think, to kind of up the tempo. This is probably a result of the heat, already feeling it, but I also think it's a result of the magnitude of this game. And again, that's so important on the way our players deal with the pressure situation that they're under here.
And Ethan Brandt making another save on that one. That's now 49 for the year, but Oakley, you do put out a very good synopsis here. It is very warm up here at approximately around 80 degrees up here in the press box, and lots of fans in the shade, but the pitch does add an extra 5 to 10 degrees, so it feels roughly about 95, close to 100 degrees on field level.
And it'll be very interesting to see
That ball from Mooney Shirali over to
how Coach Sorg will manage. And remember, we've got 7 subs in the pocket, and we've got some phenomenal players. Everything to this point, this club, it's all been shared. The success has all been shared. And you look at those faces on the bench right there, I just have a feeling one of those or 2 of those may play a major role tonight in the deciding.
Including one Jack Voigt, who leads the squad with 6 goals. Sylvan bodied off the ball, but Lansing will keep possession.
And that turn from
Lovely
Mark
turn from
Wishmeyer.
With just a magic left foot. It was on there.
You know, and Oaks, that's another question that I've had in recruiting Mark Wishmeyer. Otterbein College, how did you guys find out about him, other than he was a rival last season playing for the Michigan Stars?
Mark, well, you know my propensity for Division III. There are so many great players at that level that automatically sometimes get written off by coaches or programs or that, and we know I know that there are some quality young people playing in that division, and Mark is one of them. To give credit where credit's due, it was an old name from long ago. My first couple of years in Michigan, as a matter of fact, I worked for TNT Soccer Club, and Todd Derby was the leader of that soccer club, and he knew Mark, and he put Mark onto Lansing Common FC. So hats off to Todd for that, because it's a big thing, and it's helped this club immensely. So,
Yeah.
and obviously, if you know Todd, Todd's had a stake in soccer in this community for so long, and he continues to do that by sending quality players this way.
Mark is one of those players that's played almost 90 minutes in every match in the Midwest Premier League this season for Lansing Common. So he's been a revelation. He's such a calm presence in the midfield.
Great young player.
And talking about one, Mark Wishmeyer played and started in all 20 games this past season in his sophomore campaign at Otterbein. 4 assists to his name, and working well within the Lansing Common system. Hopefully, this team will love to have him back.
Not a
next
good
year.
idea if you're Inter Detroit to give 1-8 that time and space, because he can pick you apart with that left foot.
And that's something that me and Luca have seen here in the past few months with the set piece services that Mark Wishmeyer brings, along with who I quoted as the player to watch in today's game, Munir Shirali. Both very good set piece takers.
Question for you: How many times can you do the same thing and it work every time?
Along goes the saying, fool me once, shame on me. Fool me twice, shame on you.
Yeah, there's an old saying in Tennessee, maybe Texas.
Probably Tennessee.
As
Love
that
it.
shot dribbles just past the far post as Bros, who's been arguably the best player in the midfield for Inter Detroit, tried to put his side up early. Just over 11 minutes gone here, and a whole barrel of laughs and a still steady stream of fans making their way to the home side.
Oh, it's amazing. This is absolutely, it's what dreams are made of. To see this many people, a local community, come and support their local team, and actually we're starting to get some overcast weather conditions too, which will help.
Possibly put a little bit more wind beneath the sails of those on the pitch.
And Oaks, if you don't mind me asking, 2 years ago when this club reached out to you, either Eric Walcott or Steve Beckman, how did that conversation come about for you to be the head coach at the time of this team?
Big props to the missus. She's the one. Obviously, the club was fantastic in there recruiting a coach and giving me the chance to be the first to lead this club. But really, it was my wife, because I was very nervous about serving 2 masters, quote unquote. Being a college coach at the time as well, it was really tough, and I wanted to make sure I put full commitment into my priorities. But she just said there's just something about Lansing. There's something about living here for the last 12 years, and there's something about the opportunity that you have. And I thank her every day for that, because it's the best coaching decision of my life to this point.
No, that's a wonderful story, Oaks, and obviously everyone was glad you were aboard. Just an inspiring face, a positive attitude that represents the club well.
Appreciate that, Luca. But really, it's about the club. It's never about, I think I said in the first meeting with these guys, if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together. And here they are right now, because everyone has committed to going together. And that is from the club, the administration, to you guys, to the players, to the coaches. It's brilliant.
As Lansing Common trying to get a lot more possession in the Inter Detroit half, having some trouble breaking down this right side. And as you said, Josh, a lot of time for that 1-8 in white to put in a good service, just not able to find the numbers as of yet. Balon.
Yeah, it's kind of what you expect. I equate this to a heavyweight matchup. You guys think about the club. You think about last year. You guys were involved in that. We had a similar situation kind of go down to the wire last year. Not quite this far down the wire, but we had to go to Keyworth. And it was a slugfest. It was 1 versus 2. And what happened in that game, it was one team scored. The other team punched back, which was us. And then we punched back again. And then our opponent, who ended up winning the league, they punched back twice. So you can expect to see that in matches like this because it really is for everything. It's a title type game.
And there's not many times where a title will come down to the final day, and me and Luca in recent soccer memory could probably give you a handful of times where the league title in any league, in any of the 5 major leagues, has gone down to the last day. And talking with people in the midweek, talking to them about those certain games, the only one the most recent one that comes to my mind is Manchester City and Liverpool this past year in the Premier League, going down to the final day where Manchester City found themselves down 2-0 until the 75th minute, which everybody in this booth, whether willingly will say or won't say, does not want that to happen for the team in white.
You see right there,
the feet of Munir Shirali.
As this team is effective at what it does, which is what's so impressive because they continue to do what they do and do it well. I think if you put their left center back, Davion, who I know well from recruiting him and watching him play as a high school prospect, if you put him onto his left foot, make him play off that left peg, there could be some positive things at the end of that for our group.
Davion Page, one of the more sizable defenders on this Inter-Detroit backline. 6'2" from Detroit, Michigan.
And Davion's a phenomenal young man, great family. It's good to see him level of success here with Inter.
Shirali with the in-swing. Payne on the back post.
It's no surprise that's a targeted play to KP. He's done very, very well on that this year.
And it's almost a similar play that you loved to run last year with another sizable defender from the back line in Aiden O'Connor, who's now playing his collegiate soccer at Virginia after formerly being enrolled at Western Michigan. But you said it yourself last year, Josh, about set pieces, and this team last year was very clinical on set pieces. So kind of just take us through the process of how you got this team a team that necessarily didn't practice all that much set pieces, how you guys were able to connect on a lot more.
Really, for me, it's about the service. Number one, it's always about the service. And you have a player here, when you go back to last year, you have a couple players. But this year, you still have Mooney, who's he can serve dime balls. There's just no question about it. So put somebody like that on the ball. You know good things are going to happen. And you just look and see how this team is conditioned to play. So one, though, Cam, is the service has got to be there. And number two, you got to have players that are willing and able to get on the end of it. And this team has that right now with KP. It has it with Julian Burge and a couple other guys. Even Mark Wishmer can get on to the end of things. So really, those are the two keys. You don't have good quality service, and you can rep it as much as you want in training. But it's games like this where it really matters. So see if the opponent here, you think? Not much there. More of a pass to the goalkeeper.
A little bit of a bobble from one Ethan Brandt, but talking about the service from Gabe Balon, he is the player to watch for Inter-Detroit, the captain of this Inter-Detroit squad for today. He attends Oakland University and coming all the way from south of the border from Juarez, Mexico. And a little fun fact from him, his maternal grandfather, Rafael Chepe Chavez, spent some time down there in the Mexican professional leagues playing for León FC, Leones Negros, and a few appearances with the Mexican national team. So a rather interesting family soccer lineage for the Balons.
Start to see that too. Jack Lockerbie has been a revelation. What a good player. Another player who comes from Division III. He's got a great right peg, able to pick out things, and a lot of the style of this team is to skip lines, and you just saw that Jack being able to pick up a ball and skip the midfield line and give it straight to the dynamic front three. And even at worst case scenario, things happen, and drew a foul there. So the only thing with Jack, and I'll say this, and I know he'll probably agree, he's got one play that scares the crap out of you as a fan and as a coach. The ball is running to him, and he'll let it run through his legs and turn and play back to the goalkeeper. So usually it works every time, but hopefully that continues.
I know Lockerbie has just been a big presence in the back line that we've seen him, and we didn't necessarily know at the start of the season if he'd be a regular starter as he is right now.
He's had a phenomenal year.
But boy, he's been on top of it. And back to the subject of Munir Shirali, Josh, you'll get to coach Mooney Shirali next season over at Eastern Illinois. How does that make you feel knowing that you've known him for a while? He's a local kid. How special is that you'll be able to coach him in most likely his last season in Charleston?
Well, I think that is a excellently framed question, Luca, because I came into the day swearing that I would only talk about Lansing Common because that's what it's all about. It's about Lansing Common. It's not about Josh Oakley. It's not about EIU. It's not about that today. But you frame it perfectly with one of the captains of Lansing Common going into his last season in college. So, yeah, obviously it's special. But Mooney's got work to do in the next 70 minutes or so.
At what age did you start working or see Mooney play?
I saw Mooney and Shetty both. Shetty was about 15, and he guest played with us, and Mooney was always there as well. Mooney would have been 13, 14 years old. It's great to see them come up through Lansing, through the local soccer community, and have the success they've had.
Absolutely.
Another set piece gone a begging right there, really. I mean, it could come down to that. Cam says it a lot, and you see it from this team specifically over the last 2 years. Set pieces are important, and I take it a step further. It's not just corners. It's not just the free kicks. It's dead ball situations. How many times have we created something off of a throw-in in the opponent's half?
I believe 3 or 4 times last year.
It's just massive. And you see Jack Foyt has a real ability to do that. He's done it already 2 or 3 times for this team. So interested in that. It's just been so fun to watch this team continue to grind other teams down. That's why I mentioned that, though, with the tempo. Obviously, we're in a heavyweight battle here. It's 1 versus 2. I see a little bit less of that grinding away right now. It's early on in the game, feeling each other out. And that could have something to do with the way Inter might be approaching this game as well.
As Inter awaits a throw-in, Bros trying to sell a shove. Another throw-in awarded to Inter Detroit. A rather bewildered Munir Shirali giving it to the opposing linesman, as he's felt like the last 2 calls have gone against his side. And once again, we'll do it again from an Inter Detroit throw-in. And really, when you take a look at this team in the past month of play, and I'm pretty sure Luca, Luke, and Josh, you can all attest to this from watching a few games when possible. Lansing Common comfortable without the ball and finding their shape, and also attacking and exploiting teams on the counter-attack just like they did last week. And it's a little bit of a different approach than what this team had last year with a lot of their possession. But as you said, Josh, about there's a difference between having possession and having meaningful possession. As Gershom Sylvan wins a foul just in the middle of the park, and that'll produce another yellow card from the center official.
Had to. As the fouls start mounting up, obviously it's clear who Inter Detroit keep fouling. So the referee's got to do that. He's got to go to the book and get things settled down a little bit here. But yeah, to your point, Cam, I just got to believe. I got to believe that pressing is overrated. And I know I'm probably stepping out on a walking a plank, maybe saying that in the modern game. Now, I didn't say counter pressing. I think counter pressing is everything. I think it's incredibly important. And you see the mentality of this team, what they do when they lose the ball in vital areas. They counter press and win it back. I just made a comment on the captain, Julian Burge, doing that. But I do think that it's kind of overrated being pressed so high up on the field in so many ways and so many times. You can waste a lot of energy, and if you're not adept to doing that, it's kind of useless sometimes. So this team taking this approach, they're well cut out for it. They're suited to play in that way, and things should be fine.
Coach, I want to ask you a question about the man at the front of the bench today, your good friend, Coach Sorg, someone you've worked with so closely these past couple years. What similarities and differences do both of you have in your coaching styles?
Well, first, I absolutely love the man.
Oh, there's a great
is
one.
He offside?
Too,
Is he offside? It's a break. He's offside anyway. He's offside anyway.
A little bit of a break in play there, holding up a little bit of our conversation, but the first worrisome sign for Lansing Common at the back as Inter Detroit. A beautiful 1-2 between Bros and Townsend, but the final pass just a little bit too late from Townsend as Bros was in on goal. And either way, Ethan Brandt using all of his 6-foot frame to get on the end of that one, but no avail as Bros was offside.
And that's why we love the GOAT. He's the best goalkeeper that we've seen at Lansing Common. It's hands down. It's no question. Even with the offside, Ethan Brandt's not letting that goal and not letting that ball go by him and into the goal, because he's just big and he's a stud.
Inter once again on the forefront. Brajas trying to work around Hungerford. Hungerford able to shield him away. He'll take it off the byline and send it out for a throw-in, but Inter Detroit seems to have a little bit more confidence here in the final third.
Quality from Landon Hungerford, too. Just really impressed. I've always known Landon. I tried to recruit him as well. He's ended up at a great program with a great coach. My roommate for the week at a soccer camp coming up, Coach Boyle at Niagara. But Landon's gonna blossom, already is blossoming into one heck of a good defender.
And his versatility, being able to play at the center and then also right here on the left flank, just makes him just a piece of work to go against.
Absolutely.
Really, it's just so difficult. He's a big lad. He's strong. He's physical, and he's fast. You know, as we've seen him fly down up and down the wing.
Yeah, Luca, you're absolutely right. Here we go with the first quarter being done in soccer. I'm a purist. I prefer playing halves, but I understand. Even in Michigan, you get a little bit of heat.
The first half hydration break coming into play here today. As you said, the quarters, 20 to 25-minute quarters will be played today as the field conditions are in the upwards of Texas-sized proportions in terms of the temperature. But Josh, you've talked a lot about the game or the flow of the game so far. What have you seen from both teams in the first 25?
Well, I think it can be a little touch and go. Both teams created a couple things off a set piece. Maybe not really created, but they were able to work their way into position in the opponent's half, get a foul, maybe have a dead ball opportunity. Really not a whole lot, but you would expect that in a game like this. I think there's a bit of caution going on with both teams. I said earlier that maybe it's a heavyweight battle, maybe it's a 3-2 type of game. You hit back. Who knows? A day like today could be 1-0. But certainly the fans will be treated to something special, because obviously both teams need to go for this. And, of course, Lansing Common will want to go for it. And we've scored a lot of goals in this team this year. The dynamism of the front three, even seeing Mooney chip in with some big goals early on in this month. To see him score not just one game winner, but a second game winner in succession was fantastic. So when you're getting a few things from your midfield players scoring, that's big time.
And to talk about this past month, it has been a rather tumultuous month, but for Lansing Common, they've put themselves into this position by winning 3 straight in the month of July with Munir Shirali, or 3 straight. Actually, yes, indeed. The first game was a Open Cup game, but Munir Shirali scoring a penalty in that game against Livonia as Lansing Common rode out 2-0 victors. Another win at home over BIH Grand Rapids, a result that Lansing needed. And we've gotten to this point because as it stands, a draw is not enough to win a title today. Both teams will need to take all 3 points in order to leave here with the East Division trophy. A draw certainly favors Inter Detroit, who have another game tomorrow against Michigan Star's U23 side in a very good game, but a game that could decide the title if this game ends as it stands.
First of all, Kim, as a coach, you never look at the table. At least I don't. I don't look at the table. The most important thing is that your team is playing in a way such as to get results. And this team, you mentioned the 3 straight. Before that, it was 3 straight and then a draw in between. So they're unbeaten in 7 games. And there's so many things. Now that I am a fan of this team, when I look back and I look at Inter Detroit, okay, so Inter Detroit has 3 or 4 last games against the top of the table. So really nothing, and I always say this to the boys, nothing really matters until the season is over, and then you look at the table. And to be honest, a little bit cautious, right? I think this was the first week, for whatever reason, that Common went top of the table, and it's like, boom, everybody, top of the table, top of the table. It's excellent. It's a good achievement, but this is not an achievement that lasts. You got to go out here today. You got to take care of business. You got to simply, although it's not that simple, win another game, and then you get to be top of the table for history. And that's really the most important part of being top of the table.
As Lockerbie wins another header. Shirali trying to get on a 1-2 as Shaheen is able to battle around the defender in press. Has numbers in support with Uziak. He'll play it through the wickets of Perez, but picked off immediately by McCarthy, and Inter can start again.
You do see that. You see heavy legs. You see heavy legs in transition moments. The ball's put up to Ramsey, and he doesn't have a lot of support in behind him or below him. And I get it. It's hot out here. The turf is warm. The expectations on this game are many. But again, this team has, I believe, we've done an excellent job keeping this team healthy, on target, and ready to peak at the right moments. And this has got to be that moment. They just got to step up and take it.
And now here we have a corner kick for Inter Detroit on the right side.
All one from
outswinger.
A beautiful effort from Townsend to even get it to the byline to work against Lockerbie. The outswinger. Picked off immediately by the head of Niagara University's very own Kevin Payne, but McCarthy has other ideas going forward. To Bros. Outside for Page. Trying to work around Zane Arnold. Page able to work it through on the byline. One-on-one. He gets taken down in the box. And the referee says no penalty. He points immediately to Ethan Brandt.
Yeah, it looks like the force of forward was that over on the left side.
Davion Page trying to use his...
Davion Page going body for body with Kevin Payne. It's difficult to call that as a foul towards Payne, but there was contact. And Shirali taken now with two hands.
None of that today. Yeah, let the players decide the game. I cannot stand when people go flying and benches start yelling. So good stuff from the referee there, not to be influenced.
And he already hasn't been in producing 2 cards in the first 25 minutes. He'll let the players play, but only to a certain extent. It seems as Shaheen.
Well, Jack Lockerbie's got some fans in the house again. Just a long ball there, and he gets some cheers for that.
And Coach, if you don't mind telling us a story about Ramsey Shaheen and trying to get him to play for this club. Obviously, out of all the players here, he's the one with professional experience playing abroad in the United Arab Emirates and in Romania and even in England.
Yeah.
How did that conversation come about for him to get a chance here in Lansing?
Ramsey was here. Family is here. He's got a connection at Michigan State. Let's let this play out again. It's a commitment from Inter Detroit to always play out of the back. And again, Lansing was able to pick that, and now he was still on to something.
The counter press coming up again. Arnold trying to loop a ball into the aforementioned Ramsey Shaheen, but Diego Perez is there to collect.
But I want you guys to understand at that point, too, we're not in what I would call a high press. And literally, they're giving the ball away right around the bottom of the center circle, which is a great place to win the ball back and go to goal.
Barajas trying to find the byline. He'll go off of Lockerbie for another Detroit corner as the fans in the home section wanting a handball.
And well done to Lockerbie by staying on his feet there in the defending.
So right here, you got to stay strong. You got to stay resolute. You got the best goalkeeper in the league backstopping during the corner kick. Very important that you defend well and you attack your space.
Yeah, and going into a little bit more about Ethan Brandt. Ethan Brandt playing over at Western Michigan University, originally from Torrance, California. He wants to be a pilot, and Western Michigan is one of the few
cleaned up by KP
one of the
again.
few Division I schools that offers an aviation program and a D1 soccer program. So he ended up here in Kalamazoo. Interesting story when we learned about that, right, Cam?
It was a very interesting story that we learned over in Norton Shores just a few weeks ago.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I think I know what you guys are talking about, but I'm going to throw a shout out to Chad Wiseman, head coach at Western Michigan University. I was able to get into a spring training session with the spotlight on Ethan, and we started the process, and Coach was really, really helpful. He's been helpful throughout my career on getting us players and doing the right things in that regard. And hopefully we've done right by him and Western. But when I saw Ethan training, I knew. He's long, he's just a shot stopper. And then being able to go just down the road and watch the spring game at East Lansing, for all you Spartans out there, it was another loss to the Broncos. So, and Ethan backstopping that effort again. And it was just good to see and glad he's a Robin.
Yeah, Ethan, when he joined Western Michigan as a freshman, was a 4th choice goalkeeper, signed as a walk-on, and now next season he'll be competing for that #1 spot.
And absolutely. And, you know, having some discussion with the coaching staff at Western about it, when he walked in the door.
Oh, that's lovely footwork from Shaheen. Uziak now trying to work around McCarthy. He'll get stopped in the process, but the press could still be on.
Can you drive?
Shirali trying to work around McCarthy. And some tired legs over on the right side as both Shirali and Sylvan not on the same page, but a few opportunities for both squads here in the past 5 minutes as we've let play go on here as we're live here in Eastern Stadium, a 4-man booth for the first time and possibly the last time in club history. Myself, Cameron McLaren, alongside Luca Maloney, former broadcaster for Lansing Common as he took over my duties while I was in Europe. Luke Sloan in the building, and then former head coach and current Eastern Illinois University head coach Josh Oakley also in the box. Yono, a good 1-2 with Bros. Still Yono. Trying to find Townsend in the middle, and once again, the midfield, Mark Wishmeyer able to pick things up.
You start to see, I think, one place where Inner Detroit can hurt you, and it's always been that. Their little short 1-2 combinations. And as they work the ball closer to Lansing Common goal, you've just got to be aware, and you've got to track players because of those short little 1-2 passes and the movement off the ball after they pass. So that is what we've seen so far and what we know about this team. That is really their #1 reason, or #1 way to break you.
And Lansing Common having to go back is, from what we saw in the box up here, 6 against 3 going forward.
It's a good spot for Mooney to pick up the ball right there. And it's a good skip pass from Jack Lockerbie to find that midfielder on the other, off the shoulder.
Shirali trying to work off the accidental 1-2 from Barajas in defense. Here's Arnold along the far side. Arnold trying to put one through. Davion Page there. As he'll hoof that one out of play, but Lansing Common, after taking a little bit of a gut punch for the past few minutes, trying to find themselves going up 1-0 against the run of play in the past 10 minutes.
Here is a thing in the objectives of this team, wanting at least 14 of these. A throw in the opponent's half, what can come of it? And a corner would be great. Or maybe better, you're at a goal.
Still with it. Shaheen trying to get on the end of it, but McCarthy and Perez there. As Payne trying to work on Townsend. Lovely bit of footwork there as KP sends it back into the mix. But Gabe Balon there to collect. Balon ushering his troops forward, even aside.
That's a long run for Munir.
Perez. He'll send one in, and that one skips over the head of Townsend. It'll go all the way down to the far side for a Lansing Common throw.
Cam, I need to give some credit where credit is due for you. Just talking pregame, you said how electric of a player Munir Shirali was slated to be in this game, and he's seemed to have another level so far in the first 37 minutes, in my opinion.
I believe there's just a different intensity about him today compared to other games, and we've seen it a few times. We saw it last year in the game against BIH, in the game against Stars here at home, as lining up from distance was Barajas, and that one well wide and well over, as some people would say in England, that was Wover.
You know, I'll take that errant shot to hop on my soapbox here about soccer in Lansing. Just looking at this crowd here at the stadium today, you know, I think I offer some decent perspective being in the area for the last couple of years, and Coach, you know as well, being in the area for double or triple that, of Lansing searching for a club that it could really call its own, wrap its arms around, a club that really represents the city and walks and talks the same things that the people of Lansing have, and really a lot has culminated to today, like you talked about, Coach. I mean, this place is packed. It's going to be the biggest crowd in club history, and this is a crowd that's into it too.
Somebody told me not too long ago, you know, that good things happen to good people, and you just can't be denied. And this is one of those situations. The people that brought this club up from nothing. Look at this. This is a dream come true. Not just to have a great product and a team on the field, but so much more. Community, and to have people, just look at the amount of people that care. So you want to talk about soccer being relevant in Lansing. It may not have been more relevant than right now. And then also what this club is all about more than just what you're seeing right here. But it's such a way to bring the community together, and I can't be more excited for this club and everybody involved with it.
Lansing Common, Wishmeyer finds an open Sylvan.
Now this
Right
is important to try to hold the ball into these areas. I know it's not pretty, but can we counter press just a little bit, or at least get our positioning right to maybe win the ball back, keep it in their half? Okay, at worst, can we make them play backwards?
And a lovely little
They
bit
can
of
play
insight.
backwards. It's fine.
And a little bit of a fun fact here is we have a special guest here in Eastern Stadium after being quote tweeted on Twitter. Darius Snow, a defensive back from Michigan State, Frisco, Texas native and graduate of Hebron High School. Go Hawks. I can't really say that they're in my school district, but nonetheless, he is in attendance today, taking in today's title match.
You gotta love people that just love football.
And Darius Snow apparently is a big football guy. He's a huge FIFA guy for those of you on Michigan State football Twitter. As Balon finds Townsend all alone. Still in, though, with Inter.
Important moments here, fellas. 5 minutes left. You know this, Cam. I know you did a lot of studying last year. A lot of goals are scored right before halftime.
Barajas trying to go one-on-one with the much older and much wiser Julian Burge, who stands his ground. Uziak. Here's a developing 2-on-2 going the other way. Shaheen
I like this.
taken
I
over
like
by
this.
Uziak.
I like this. Go on, Ty.
Uziak 1-on-2. Skips around Perez. Tries
Go
to
on.
put one in.
Corner.
It'll be a corner for Lansing Common as Davion Page was able to get a shoulder to it.
And a brilliant move by Ty Uziak to go past one defender. He was thinking about cutting with his right, decides to go on his left, and his cross deflected out for a corner. Again, that was a special counterattack by Lansing Common. They were hoping to finish it.
And Ty Uziak, who loves that right side, found himself in a different position, looking for another assist to his name. He's already got 5 on the year. He's the club's all-time leader in assists with 10 across 2 seasons. Shirali looking to take the outswinging corner from the far side. Just under 5 minutes to play till halftime. Shirali's the service, trying to find Wishmeyer. Hungerford. That one cleared away, but only as far as Lockerbie. He slices that one back into the mix. McCarthy for Inter Detroit. He'll head it out of harm's way. It'll find Barajas.
Here we are just short of 4 minutes left in the half.
You know what? We'll see what type of stoppage time. Probably 1 minute. That is something in our game that it forever will mystify me. I was in a match here not too long ago, and the referee put up 8 minutes. Now, how do you come up with 8 minutes when there was 1 or 2 goals scored in the entire half?
And I don't think there was any hydration breaks in between.
No hydration breaks in that game. I think we're just, it's almost like they're playing a video game with their watch. They're just deciding, hey, let's see what number pops up and we'll put it on here. So hopefully, the center referee's done a great job to this point. Hopefully he'll be accurate with stoppage time. Should be 1 minute.
There we go, 3 minutes of stoppage time on the board.
Okay.
3 minutes from the manual subs board, being manned by Dean Jong.
Makes sense.
In 3 minutes, it's
Hydration.
almost beggars can't
Turn.
be choosers in a certain sense. As Lansing Common, Shaheen trying on the half turn. He'll find Zane Arnold all alone on the right side. Looping ball, trying to find Sylvan. It'll roll in off the head of McCarthy in onto Reski.
Well
as
done
he
defending
hangs
by
on.
Casey McCarthy coming out of Detroit Mercy.
Yeah, that's well
Future
done.
teammates with Gershom Sylvan.
Incoming freshman McCarthy is the graduate of Brighton High School, apparently well liked by his new coach. He's positionally versatile. He's a good passer on the back line, trying to play out of the back, and has some sense of calmness and composure at the back line that his coach at Detroit Mercy may find beneficial should he choose to play him in his first year of collegiate eligibility. An attacking zone attacking third throw in as we'll get a foul here, a late whistle from the center official as Barajas and Uziak became entangled.
He wanted play on, and then all of a sudden his mind was made for him.
Gabe Balon maybe with a few words for his teammate as he stopped to watch the foul. And with a possible advantage being played, but nonetheless, Ty Uziak shown the 10 yards back. It'll be a set piece. Just 2 minutes until stoppage time here. Balon to take. 3 in the middle. He'll boot it directly at Uziak as he reclaims the second ball. It'll be cleared out by Wishmeyer, only as far as McCarthy, just in front of the half line. Trying to play Page. He is still onside as he makes his way to the far corner flag. Rodriguez. Shadowed there by Arnold. Rodriguez still with it, trying to the middle of the park. Balon closed down immediately by
Zane
3
Arnold,
players.
great tackle from the back.
And a wasteful effort from Bros sends that one over the bar. As good backtracking from Julian Burge, and Zane Arnold able to keep Gabe Balon from getting on the score sheet just before the end of this first half.
But again, back to the points, you see that when you can defend well and organized in zone 14, that is Inter Detroit's game right there, because certainly this first half they've wasted a lot of set piece chances. 2v1.
Here's a chance for Sylvan.
He's going.
Gershom Sylvan.
Massive goal here before halftime.
Sylvan.
That'll work.
That one is in. Gershom Sylvan once again scores for Lansing Common and sends this record-breaking home crowd into a frenzy. As the wonderful Gershom Sylvan continues his torrid pace in the Midwest Premier League. It's Lansing Common 1, Inter Detroit 0.
There's not a better time to score a goal. And you see we're already into stoppage time right there.
Go with the talisman. Gershom Sylvan went past one defender, and just a slight deflection past the keeper bobbles into the back of the net. Gershom Sylvan just keeps starring for this team. There's no question about it. This guy's a star.
I told you guys before the broadcast that this team here, Inter, they don't have a center back who can control him. They don't have a center back who can stay with him. And in that situation, he's one-on-one with a center back, and it's over.
The deadlock broken just before the stroke of halftime as we are into the first minute of stoppage time here. Lansing Common and Gershom Sylvan, who's been on a rampant pace since making his first appearance for the club back in June after he graduated from Holt High School, continues to just score at a fast pace here at Eastern Stadium. 4 goals in a game last year. He's got 1 today, and it sees Lansing Common, as it stands, the victors of the East Division.
Just incredible poise and power by Gershom Sylvan. Not exactly your tallest forward, but he's strong, he's agile, he's quick on his feet. Just a defender's nightmare when he gets into position.
And Josh, you said it, the center back, Davion Page, who you know good and well, just unable to, a 2-on-1 with Shaheen and Sylvan in the right place at the right time, but Gershom Sylvan, he's poised and ready to take on those individual runs just like he did last week, and makes no mistake as Lansing Common looking to keep the clean sheet and the 1-goal lead heading into the final minute of stoppage time here. Balon, though, with other ideas as Kevin Payne laid all out to get a deflection and a touch off that one as it's sent out of play for a
Hello, my name is Erica Brown-Binion, and I am the director.
I love the young man. He's a great player. It's the same scenario with any center back in a situation like that with G. It's just the way it is.
Barajas, he'll let it play through Perez. Back to Barajas, and a high-flying Hungerford will send it back out. Perez.
Just tighten up there, and they've done enough of that, wasting chances or wasting crosses. You look at this team, and that's another thing we go on. Guys, we do a lot of crossing the football. A lot of goals scored off crosses. Crosses can be different from different angles, from different places. Anytime they've been able to get the ball wide, their service have left something to be desired.
Now Ethan Brandt to step up to take the goal kick, which would probably be the last kick of the first 45 minutes.
Yes, indeed, Luca. There is no Ethan Brandt trying to roll the ball out and play out of the back on that. And that was not his best effort.
And that'll do.
But it works.
45 in the books, 45 left to go. It took 44, though, for Lansing Common to get the first goal in this one. Gershom Sylvan, the lone goal scorer so far, as Lansing Common is 1/2 away from winning its first trophy in club history. We'll be back in just a few moments for the second half. Before we would go off for the first half, we would like to say thank you to everybody so far in the booth. Josh, I don't know if you want to stay for the second half. I'm pretty sure the viewers have loved you so far, but this is indeed the end of your commentary for today. We thank you. I hope
only if you want it to be, Cam. Only if you want it to be. I'd love to stick around.
Well, we'll be sure to keep you around. And one special shout out to Noah Canlis. Thank you for watching.
We miss you, buddy.
We miss you. You need to get up here sometime soon. We'll be sure to catch a game together.
As long as, Noah, you can provide some insight for the guys on celebration tactics, that's where I want you back for that.
The showman. We'll be back with you in just a few moments before the start of the second half. I'm Luca Maloney, Cameron McLaren, Luke Sloan, and Josh Oakley in the booth. We'll see you soon.
I'm Dr. Farhan Bhatti,
my name is
CEO of
Erica
Carefree
Brown-Binion,
Medical.
and I am the director of the Refugee Development Center. We started as a very small grassroots organization with one part-time staff member, and we have grown. Hello, my name is Erica Brown-Binion, and I am the director of the Refugee Development Center. We started as a very small grassroots organization with one part-time staff member, and we have grown to nearly 25 staff and over 300 volunteers annually work with our programs. We are really the go-to agency in mid-Michigan for working with refugees. The RDC has provided a wide array of formal and informal learning opportunities to support refugee families and help them thrive right here in mid-Michigan. So when we welcome refugees, they change our lives and our communities for the better, and we are honored to do this work. We hope that you join us in some form or fashion, maybe as a volunteer in the future. info@rdclansing.org or 517-999-5090. Bye, everybody.
Farhan Bhatti, CEO of Carefree Medical. We are a local nonprofit that provides low-cost, high-quality medical, dental, and optometry care to those in need. That means that we're the medical home for thousands of underinsured and uninsured people from across Metro Lansing who otherwise would go without. Our clinics provide more than 13,000 visits annually to people of all ages, from children at birth all the way through adults in old age. We're also working to expand our mental health services to meet the growing need in the community, especially as it relates to equity. We're so excited to be partnering with the Lansing Common Football Club alongside the Refugee Development Center, and we're so proud to be a part of this wonderful community. Go Lansing Common, it's going to be a great season.
Welcome back to Eastern Stadium. 45 in the books, 45 still yet to go. But the home side in all white is currently leading 1-0. A result that will currently see them taking home some silverware if they can continue playing the way they have. I'm talking about Lansing Common. That's who's playing today. Enter Detroit, the other team, the top two teams in the East Division. Lansing Common getting to that top position after going 3-0 over the past 2 weekends in Midwest Premier League play, following a loss as well to Enter Detroit did to Cedars on Saturday in a game that me and my broadcast partner Luca Maloney, as well in the press box, Luke Sloan, and former Lansing Common coach and current Panthers of Eastern Illinois University head coach Josh Oakley. And that was a very good game played by Cedars, as it seemed like Enter Detroit couldn't find anything going in the final third. Lack of execution in the attacking third, and that's currently been the culprit for them today. A lot of opportunities, just not the final finishing ability for Enter Detroit.
And here we go, Cam. Final 45 minutes left on the clock. Lansing Common up 1-0-0. It's all or nothing here.
A couple things to look for, gents. The start is critical, and not necessarily Lansing Common do not have to score a goal in the first 5 minutes here. They certainly can. The start is critical for Enter Detroit. See what type of mindset they have coming out. It might be a case of Lansing just making sure we weather the storm a little bit, feel them out, because obviously the game's going to have to open up at some point. And that is, I think, where this team is best trained and best equipped to kind of put in that final nail in the coffin.
And as we get started here in the second half, Enter Detroit in their home kit, the black and dark green going from right to left this half. Lansing Common in their charity kit for Charity Day today, going from left to right.
Mentality is also another very important piece here. What's the mentality of the boys in white? Are they going to sit too deep? Or are they going to be confident when they get chances? They're going to be confident when they get the ball. They don't have to have a lot of the ball. They just have to make sure that the ball doesn't get into dangerous positions against them. And when they have it, they have to take care of it.
In the first minute of the second half, Enter Detroit trying to start off on the front foot with Bros, trying to work around two Lansing defenders. It'll go to the goal scorer, Sullivan, and he's got numbers going forward. Uziak, the backtracking Yono, 1-on-2 for Ty Uziak.
I want you guys to look at the gaps in the field, though. When you look at the gaps, the midfield players.
Uziak taken down right at the edge of the box. It's going to say it's a no-go for the center referee, getting an earful from the home fans.
I say again, the boys in red down there on the bench are going to play a massive role in this match in sorting things out and seeing things through. The midfield players here at Common and Detroit, they're not going to be able to go 90 minutes the way you have to have for championship caliber. So these substitutions over here that coach will be making, I'm sure usually goes to them right around 55, 60th minute, are going to be key.
And focusing in on these substitutions, Josh, what do you think of Mitch Haynes? He's played a much bigger role since the start of the season, and he's usually the first name off the bench. What are your thoughts on him?
What do I think of Mitch Haynes? To be honest, he's an annoying little bugger. But on the other side of things, I love Mitch Haynes. You want Mitchell Haynes to be playing for you, and when he is, it's a benefit. When he's playing against you, he's one of those guys he's gonna crawl under your skin. But no, to be fair, Mitch has been great. I think his best games for us, well, when I was coaching the squad, was a couple right in a row. He was great against Metro Louisville, a very, very good team who we pushed the pace in the second half and honestly outplayed him and should have got result. Here's a giveaway.
There's a turnover in the center of the park. Sullivan,
this is where you make him pay. He is offside.
Uziak.
He is offside. So Ty's got to do a little bit better job there of bending his run, get the timing right. But hey, these are chances. We take one of those chances, it's going to be a big, big, big hill to climb for Enter Detroit.
And Ty Uziak willing and able to work on this left side of the back four of Davion Page and Nick Yono for Enter Detroit. And that's something that Ty Uziak has done for the past 2 seasons willingly, just sort of like an analogy I would say is he's pretty much like the Energizer Bunny, just keeps on going, going, going until finally one coach or another makes a smart decision and try to keeps his legs from coming out from under him and taking him out later in the game.
Well, with Ty embodies this club. Ty Uziak does a lot of things, and he doesn't sometimes get the credit he deserves. But again, tell the guys this before. It's amazing what we can accomplish when no one cares who gets the credit. So we've got a legend, I think, in the stands today for the club who scored a boatload of goals, and 90% of those goals came from Ty Uziak. And Ty continues to do what he does. He's a money player, especially when he's playing with confidence. I think, correct me if I'm wrong, Cam or Stat, Luke, the club leader in assists.
Indeed, he has 5 assists
this season.
And maybe something like 10 or 12 going
overall.
back a ways.
Yeah, absolutely.
He's fantastic.
At the start of the season, it was all going through him. And Josh, if you don't mind telling us, what does Ty Uziak need to do to get into that first team over at Western?
Luke, I'm going to, all respect for Coach Wiseman. I absolutely love him. He knows what he's doing. He knows his squad. Nobody knows Western soccer better than Chad. He lives and bleeds it, and I just think Ty at his best has got an excellent chance to crack that. But, you know, I'm the coach at Eastern Illinois, and Chad is the coach at Western Michigan, and he sent us a wonderful number 7 for us, not just this year, but last year. And, you know, as long as Ty does the things I think Ty does well and is able to do that a little bit more consistently with the Broncos, I think his time is coming.
Absolutely.
Ty Uziak, 6 appearances in his first 2 years at Western Michigan. Last year, though, for Lansing Common, 11 starts and 13 appearances for the club, 2 goals and 5 assists for him.
The big strikers getting on the ball a little bit for Inter Detroit, causing us a few little issues. They're starting to play on the ground a little bit, move the ball. The pace of the game's improved a little bit from their end. But again, we tidy up a little bit, take care of those things, those balls that run out, we should be okay.
Yeah, it's number 88, Zach Townsend, the centerpiece for Inter Detroit. 6'4", 180 pounds from Oxford, Michigan. Attends Oakland University.
This is important, though, right here, boys. We talked about 5 minutes. Well, those 5 minutes are gone, and no changes on the scoreboard. And that makes a difference in the brains of soccer players. So we can continue to kind of shore things up. Not a lot of chances, not a lot of great things given up either way. But he's getting to work. And that's, again, we see that right down that central corridor of the field. We shut that off. We shut off zone 14. This club's in for a championship tonight.
Rose back to Barajas, trying to play that through ball in, but Julian Burge there for Lansing Common. And pick pocket there by Uziak.
And again, here we go. It's a 1v1. He stripped it off of Davion. That's a foul, referee, man. You can't do that.
Uziak pleading his case, and so is bench boss Brent Sorg, asking for the drag back by Davion Page.
The guy's gone.
Being held back as McCarthy was there to pick up the loose ball just before it reached Reski in between the sticks.
And I'm going to say this because I've been his coach for a long time, these last year and a half. Ty may rub the referee the wrong way. I would venture a guess that he said something smart aleck underneath his breath. Maybe the referee heard it. It's always something that I try to coach the players. Hey, let's make sure we don't need to get him on our side, but let's not get him against us. And quite frankly, that could have been something that influenced the decision, because that's a foul every day of the week and twice on Sundays.
But yet we play on. Arnold up against Shaheen, trying to work around Page again, who's been rather busy here to start this second half. But Inter Detroit can bring it forward with Trask.
Again, midfield. These midfielders, I love them. They put in the work. This team, it's not glamorous to play in midfield for Lansing Common. You know, where the glamour situations or the glamour positions are this year have been in the goal, and rightly so. He's earned it, Ethan. And if you're a player up front, just the scoring dynamics of that. These midfielders link the team. They work their socks off, but they're not going to be able to go a full 90 minutes here in a championship type of environment. That's good from good back pressing.
Sylvan thought he was fouled just a moment ago, wins the ball back against Balon, gets the foul called that time. And that, as you said that, Josh, good back pressing from Gershom Sylvan.
And here we go, Cam, on the sideline. Mitch Haynes in uniform, ready to hop onto the pitch as he's getting the final instructions from Coach Brent Sorg.
So backtrack to your question, what do I think of Mitch Haynes? I think Mitch Haynes has to be 100% big time tonight, right here in these next 30, 35 plus minutes, and he will be.
Lansing Common finding it easier to work out of the back as Inter Detroit finding their shape here in the second half a lot better than they did in the first. Townsend immediately putting Hungerford under pressure. He'll win himself a throw-in. As we wait patiently for the substitution along the near side, the referee will keep things going with McCarthy. Casey McCarthy, a freshman, incoming freshman at Detroit Mercy. It's Rodriguez in the middle of the park. Townsend. Rose will play it out wide for Perez. Being shadowed there by Hungerford in the middle
and
for
he's
Townsend.
gone to get the ball back again. The young man has caused some issues, but look at this. We've already got cramp, and we're not even into the 55th minute here.
And Inter Detroit does play again tomorrow night against the Michigan Stars.
So some
regardless
decisions.
of results.
And that is another reason why Lansing Common, the board, everybody in those positions that lay out a schedule to take care of our players, to give our players the absolute maximum chance of success. You know, hats off to everybody, because this team has never, ever, and will never play back-to-back games in a competitive league like this, or even outside the league.
As we get the final confirmation of the first substitution for today's match, Julian Burge giving up the captain's armband. He makes his way off the pitch for the final time this season, and out trots on one Mitch Haynes, the graduate of Portage Central High School, currently a rising sophomore at Spring Arbor. 8 starts and 15 appearances in his first season at Spring Arbor. Did have an assist against Grace.
You're talking Mitchell Haynes?
Yes, sir.
Mitchell is now a Davenport player.
Now Davenport. Interesting.
Davenport University is going to play for Coach Hughes there. Really excited about what he can offer in Grand Rapids for that squad.
I wish this was made aware to me on the website and on the roster before I made today's rosters.
I got you now, Cam.
Thank you. So
that's why we have Josh.
Formerly of Spring Arbor, now at Davenport, as
kind of like me, formerly Spring Arbor.
There we go.
As we'll get another substitution, a mandatory substitution for Inter Detroit.
And we'd like to give a shout out to also Dante Morissette here. We can see you on the live chat on the stream. Dante, we miss you. Hope you're doing well, buddy.
Dante Morissette. Absolute class.
As we'll get the substitution for Inter Detroit. Townsend will come off. Jose Aguilar will make his way onto the pitch. A rather tall body for this Inter Detroit squad, and a native of Guanajuato, Mexico.
This is big, fellas. The big number 88 buzzing around, causing us a few issues there in that entering the final third. And now he's done. He will not figure in anymore for this match.
It'll be Balon to take it along the far corner. Trying to find Aguilar. It'll go off the head of
It's a bit of a free header there. Bit of a free header.
It'll make its way out to the near side, just in front of the Inter Detroit bench for Sylvan. The 1-2 is Shaheen.
Is he 1v1? He is.
Sylvan, once again, 1v1.
Can you square it to Ty? Maybe. Ty, make your run. Oh, the goalkeeper's completely lost. The goalkeeper's angle there is completely off.
But here comes Inter Detroit the other way. Yono trying to get around KP.
Cam. Yep. Trying is the operative word there. You're not getting around deuce.
Kevin Payne, and he was a bit of a surprise to make this roster for me, as we all talked about last year about having him come to one training session during a midweek when we gave up, I believe, a few weird goals the weekend prior. Kevin Payne comes to one training session for Lansing Common, and all of a sudden we don't give up a bad goal the rest of the year. And at that point, I believe I told you, Josh, I said, I want this guy on my team.
Kevin Payne he's gonna turn heads when he walks in the building. And
still only 20 years old, Kevin Payne.
Yeah, just a phenomenal young talent, extremely coachable, and extremely committed this year. Maybe more committed than any player we have in this team, and everybody here is 100% committed. But KP's been brilliant all year. And my type of center back, guys. My type of center back.
And speaking of those kind of qualities, Josh, what are some qualities you look for in players when you're bringing them onto any of your sides?
Well, number one, if you look at the culture of this group, culture is the biggest buzzword, right? Culture this, culture that, culture. Really, it's just about the way you treat each other. And this team here, it's one for all for one. It's the fight in this group. It's the never say die. It's everybody in it together. There's really no worries or no issues on who takes any of the credit. It's all about a team. And that you should probably go to the book right there. You got to calm Ramsey down.
Yeah, and look at that. Captain on the field, Mooney Shirali, shoves Ramsey Shaheen, teammate Ramsey Shaheen, away before he gets into an altercation there. That's good leadership.
A little bit of a kick out being displayed by Shaheen as he thought Barajas with the tug of the jersey and the slight leg extension should have been worthy of a booking here as we approach the hour mark in Lansing.
And you look at Ramsey Shaheen. I'll backtrack a little bit, Luke. I think we got interrupted, and I didn't get to share about Ramsey. Ramsey was looking to play for a club. Family got into East Lansing. And
that's a turnover there.
We'll work hard to recover here. We'll work hard.
Rose 1-on-3 finds Balon. Balon in space. Balon.
Good solid recovery.
Well done. A 3-on-3 there for Lansing Common, and
a great defensive effort there from the back three, including Mitchell Haynes on that one, as Kevin Payne was able to deflect the shot out for a goal kick, as we'll get another substitution for Enter Detroit. It'll be Barajas making his way off the pitch, and coming on will be number 22, Luke Kearns. The native of Dearborn, Michigan, currently finds himself playing his collegiate soccer at Trine University and trying to make an impact here in the final half hour.
Dave Jacobs runs a great program at Trine University.
The outswinger. That's a diving header from Aguilar and straight into the waning arms of Brandt.
Now, so they're starting to simmer a little bit here in Detroit. That's 2 free headers on corner kicks right in a row. Need to sort that out. Ethan will do a good job of that, but we need to get somebody in that pocket of space as Lansing always has defended zonally, which I think is the right way to do on corner kicks. Good knockdown ball recovery here. No problem with this type of scenario. The more they want to foul in their own half, the better.
And Josh, if you don't mind going back to that Ramsey Shaheen story that we were interrupted there with that counterattack from Inter Detroit.
Yeah, he had a little bit of a problem with a work visa. He'll explain it a lot better than I will, coming from a different country and trying to get back to Romania to play. So I said, well, how long is it going to take? And definitely going to take at least 3 months. So I said, Ramsey, you got a home right here. As soon as I watched the video, I knew for a fact. And again, just a dime ball right there. Only thing wrong there is heading for goal. And Zahner has done a great job all season for this club. If we could get that header steered back across goal, it's probably a goal. But again, Mooney or Shirali. Beautiful service.
Luke Kearns with it for Inter, trying to work on Arnold.
Nope.
Able to shield him away from the ball as Kevin Payne is able to collect it. He'll just send it back up. The ball will go out for an Inter Detroit throw-in, but a beautiful 100-yard recovery run by Zane Arnold to get back in time to prevent Kearns from turning in on goal. Kearns once again. Aguilar and Bros. Bros, lofty weighted ball to Aguilar in the middle. And Kevin Payne once again there to clean up the mess.
And good communication there between Lockerbie and Kevin Payne to see who gets to that.
Kearns with space, trying to work around Wishmeyer. Out top for Yono.
That's a good
find.
Rose, and that one sneaks by the glove of Ethan Brandt.
That piece is huge, trying to take away their space, top of the 18. They've gotten in that space a little bit, and that time we were hurt from a very, very classy finish right there.
Very good finish indeed, with his right foot curling over to that top right corner. And again, well done to find the space outside the box and then in.
There's absolutely no reason to panic here for the 1,000 patrons in the stands. Coach Sorg is on it. We have 6 substitutions to go to. Obviously, you see Inter Detroit burning their substitutions, and that puts Lansing Common on the front foot, I think, here, because we have a lot to offer still there, ready to make their impact.
It'll be a forward for midfield substitution. It'll be Giovanni Cavelli who will make his way onto the pitch as Edwin Rodriguez's night is done. But a lovely, lovely shot from distance from Gavin Brose is the first blemish against Ethan Brandt tonight and levels things at 1 apiece with just under half an hour remaining here at Eastern Stadium.
Yeah, I'm going to say that's quality from Gavin Brose. Good strike. Found his way into good pockets of space. He's been simmering around a little bit, almost on the boil right now. Him and the number 88 for them. So we've got to make sure and just get our wits about us. Play calm.
And Brose committing the foul on Wishmeyer. It'll be a free kick for Lansing, it just inside their own half.
So I mentioned it, fellas. We're talking about sprinters. Talking about that, you know, you see the sprinters that are most successful are the ones that focus on their technique for the whole race. I watched the 200-meter finals not too long ago. What a race! What a race! And the whole way, it was Noah Lyles, just focused, comfortable. You know, you could just see his face, just completely focused on the task at hand, and it never changed from the starting blocks all the way. And that's what it's got to be with these guys. Even if you have a bit of a hiccup, you just got to stay focused. I was out on the golf course with one Julian Burge the other day, and Julian will be upset in a broadcast when I say it. We were taking it to him a little bit. Julian was losing.
Is he improving that swing?
He's a great golfer. He's going to be, you know, check him in about 10 years. He'll be fantastic because he will commit to it when he gets some time. But Julian said it best. He said, you know, Coach, how do I try harder at golf? You don't. When you start trying harder, then that's when some cautious moments arise. So all our guys need to do right here is understand that it takes a second to score a goal. They have at least 30 minutes here with the stoppage time. Going to be fine.
It's Ty Uziak committing the foul on Yono just in front of his bench. And the crowd once again giving it to the center official who, in my opinion, and in most of our opinions, has done a relatively very good job tonight as Shaheen finds himself in space against McCarthy.
Excited to see one Jack Voigt warming up there. It's
Shirali in the middle of the park. Uziak out wide. Uziak tried the center. And that one goes off of the right boot of Yono. And now it's a Balon.
I was just about to ask you that question, Coach. I wrote Voigt's name down on a piece of paper. He's ready to go right now. What is he going to bring in when he gets in this game?
Luke, you've seen it. You guys have all seen it. The young man just scores goals. He finds pockets of spaces. Fantastic player. I really wish I had more time to coach the young man. It was certainly the intent. There's that space
trying
again,
to fight
fellas.
into space. Cavalli.
You got to defend that space. And they're getting in there, and that is their game. And credit Inter. That's good. That's good flowing play there.
They've really seemed to find something here. They've used a bevy of substitutions. I didn't get a count on how many so far. Cam says 3.
Yeah, Coach Ryan Rowe is a colleague of mine for the last year. Great young coach. What he's done in terms of the revitalization process of Inter Detroit in 1 year, that has to be recognized within the league. Here they are.
They were top of the table all year
playing
long.
for a title. Nah, I'll say, Luke, I think that has something to do with the scheduling.
Yeah.
Did take nothing away, though, from the quality that he's been able to instill here. And another big point for Coach Rowe. Last year, I don't know, Cam would know.
There's a bad pass by Mitch Haynes that rolls in onto Ethan Brandt. Aguilar was close down to hunting that one.
Cam may know their standing last year. I just know it wasn't anywhere near the top of the table at any point in time during the season. And what he's done result-wise is impressive. But on the other hand, and probably most impressive for a colleague, myself, is this team, Inter Detroit, took the most red cards of any team in the league last year. And it's no secret why their standing was where it was. Very big lack of discipline. And Ryan has come in and first, I think, addressed that and added a lot of talented pieces to this mix. And, you know, big credit there. Big ups for Coach Rowe. He's done well.
And Inter, once again, after getting that goal, seemed to find a lot more wind beneath their sails as Brose looking for 2.
Just an amazing take there.
And Ethan Brandt quick off his line to prevent that from happening as he gets play restarted rather quickly.
And folks, Jack Voigt is about to enter here, and that's going to turn it up for Lansing Common.
And these moments right here are critical moments. This is what I call, once you get right around that 70th minute, that's winning time.
Jack Voigt is a lightning bolt. When he gets in here, you're going to see something special.
Enter once again, pressing in the Lansing Common half with Balon. They'll force to go back to Page.
There is absolutely, and I'll say it again, no reason to panic here for the fans as it's gone a little quiet. For the players, there's no reason to. Yeah, you see this game out, you create a couple more chances. It takes a second to score a goal. You tighten up a little bit at top of your 18, and you just be who you are. No need to panic.
Aguilar against Kevin Payne. Mitch Haynes there in support. Able to win the ball, but it'll go out for a Inter Detroit throw-in, and we'll finally get that substitution. And a substitution that has been made multiple times here in the second half of the season. Jack Voigt will come on for Ramsey Shaheen, who's not had a very good way with things the past few opportunities in terms of scoring, but nonetheless a very good scorer. 5 goals on the season. That will do it for him. But the club leader in goals will make his way onto the pitch, Jack Voigt.
This will no doubt change things. It'll change things in a good way. It's straight energy. And back to Luca's point, maybe I can finish this out about Ramsey. What a consummate pro right there. So honored to have the opportunity to work with him. When I saw his highlight video and what he could do on the flank and just his overall polish and technique and the way he took training and the way his attitude is, there's no secret why he came into this club, Lansing Common FC, and was not just a player here. He was an impact.
And he got a really nice round of applause, too. I mean, he was someone who picked up after every practice. He was the one who made sure everybody was on the bus during road games. He represented this club in a fantastic way from end to end this season.
Yes, Luca, and when you take a team going through that transition from a bit older last year, you guys know that, to a much younger team, to have a player and a person such as Ramsey in that team, it made a massive difference for us. So.
As we'll get another substitution for Inter Detroit at the next stoppage in play. Brandt well out of his net, finds Haynes in the middle. And we'll get a late whistle here from the center referee. Haynes wanting the call a little bit earlier, but nonetheless, Lansing getting another free kick inside the opposing half.
The interesting thing here is time winds down a little bit, still plenty of it, is how Lansing Common will go about chasing things, because there is a certain point now. Here we got the third quarter now, right? Maybe our Spartan footballer over there can give us. They do this as Spartans. Give us the four fingers. It's time.
This doesn't feel right. I'm starting to get on your side here.
It's time to enter the fourth quarter, boys, and that's when things are won. So 4 fingers in the sky, and let's get it done. All we have to do is be the better team in this fourth quarter, and a championship is ours. But back to the point is how we will go about chasing the game. Are our dreams dead with a 1-1 result? No. And you look at some of the guys that have come out of this game on cramp, and to think that they got to turn around in less than 24 hours, not just 24 hours, it's like 20 hours. We'll see. But I always had that mindset of, do you win a silver medal, or do you lose the gold? So it'll be really interesting to see what happens here in these next 20 minutes.
To your point, too, Coach, this is a team that's prepared for these kind of conditions here in the final frame. This is, I mean, you think of all the games this year, from Metro Louisville to Cedars at home, a number of games where fatigue was a big factor, especially some afternoon games. This is a very well-conditioned side right now, and this is a team that multiple times this season, when you thought, oh, maybe they're hitting that wall right before the end of the game, they just seem to have that extra level and push through. What they'll hope, with a lot of calm faces and calm bodies right now in that bench, is that'll come through, and like you say, players are just going to play here in these last 20 minutes.
Absolutely. You saw it in the Cedars game. Just an amazing game. One for the record books there for sure. But no, I would say, again, masterful job from the club heads, in managing games, in managing minutes. I think the coaching staff, we've done a phenomenal job of managing players. We sent no fewer than 10 guys home, not to be seen or heard from again for a week, right before this last push. So right over the 4th of July holiday. And they came back ready to play, obviously, and fresh and ready. And to your point, Luke, big difference. Last year we played 18 games as a club. This year, would be our 14th game. And the difference of 4 games, some people say, oh, they're young, they can handle it. Not exactly. Just a perfect management principle, player health, player safety, and getting the most out of players. So it's all right here to play for.
With just about a tick over a quarter of an hour left to go here in Lansing. 1-1 is your score. Bros, the aforementioned goal scorer, now on the ball as a substitution made just before the hydration break as Peyton Trask was taken off in exchange for Edwin Gomez going forward. Aguilar, now time and space, tries to loop in a back post ball for Perez.
It's outstanding covering up right there.
As Jack Voigt using all of his speed to make sure Perez didn't get a wide open look on net. Pushes it out for an Inter-Detroit corner.
He doesn't just score goals, fellas, he prevents them.
Yeah, it's a wonderful tackle to get that away. And now it's a corner kick for Inter-Detroit.
And it'll be Edwin Gomez to take it.
Last two, some free headers, some free bodies moving into positions here. We've got to make sure we marshal spaces, take care of what's your space, and attack the ball.
The outswinger from Gomez. Ethan Brandt there to punch it out immediately. Perez will try and send it back into the mix, but only as far as Shirali. And Balon from distance. And that one won't trust the keeper. And it'll be a Lansing Common goal kick. And Josh, in the final 15-plus minutes with a few more substitutions warming up for Lansing Common, what do both of these teams need to do in order to break the deadlock here and possibly get a bag a game winner?
Well, Cam, I just realized it's been the whole broadcast you've been calling me by my first name. Very few people actually do that, so I'm surprised I'm responding. But yeah, absolutely. I think this game is tight. Obviously, what we say early, we said one team hits and the other team comes out of the break and punches back. So there's absolutely some truth to that statement. Do I think there's another goal in this game? Yes. Where do I think the goal comes from? Well, we obviously know how Detroit scored theirs, and we know our strengths. So likely to be that. But I know Coach Sorg has put in some extra work on some set pieces and some of those dead ball opportunities. It may well come from one of those.
As Inter-Detroit found themselves with time and space, it was the head of, I believe, Jack Lockerbie that was able to prevent that one from going to the back post, but Yono has other ideas. Off of Kevin Payne, and the referee.
Off of the stomach.
You cannot. You cannot.
You've
got to track players here.
Aguilar
again,
now going.
That area.
A deflection once again off of Kevin Payne. Kept alive, though, along the near side by Bros. Trying to work the 1-2 with Kearns.
Take a breath.
And it'll go out for a Lansing Common throw, and some nervy signs here as the Inter-Detroit bench is still bewildered by the center official and the no call on a handball. And in that position, nothing that Kevin Payne can do as the ball ricocheted off his stomach.
That is our own throw-in. And now somehow it's a free kick for the opponent.
Just short of 13 minutes left on the clock.
What do you think, Luca? There's got to be at least, I've been wrong on stoppage time in the past, but there's got to be at least 5 minutes.
At least 5 minutes would be very generous.
A two-man wall in front of Bros. Lofted in for Page, back post, and Brandt first there to punch it all out along the far side, but Inter-Detroit once again comfortable in possession in the attacking half.
How many times has Ethan Brandt put his body on the line with just no regard to anything but his team this year? I mean, you've seen that time and time again, just like right there.
Cavalli trying to work inside the 18-yard box. Still Cavalli trying to find Yono. It'll be picked out by Uziak.
Well done, Uziak defending deep. It's just not something that you want your creative wingers to do, but in moments like these, it has to be done.
A dangerous pass there by Gomez, almost picked off by Gershom Sylvan. Biono along this near side, finding Aguilar. Back out for Balon. Cavalli! Straight into the arms of Brandt.
Fellas, I say it again. It's been a problem. It's been a problem.
Those loose
Most
balls
of them
right
are-
at the edge of the 18.
Zone 14, right in that arc.
Hungerford trying to find Shirali in the middle. It'll be picked out once again, Gomez.
Couple ways to deal with that. Obviously, all the time, if you're the first defender that has stepped to the guy on the ball and he makes a pass, you've got to track that defender. And then secondly, when the play is more deeper, say out to the 30-yard line, you've got to try to arrange your defense as such. This team plays usually a 4-2-3-1.
The center official having a word with the linesman on the far side.
So maybe a double shield to that area at the top of the D.
And I don't know what this conversation's holding up over there, but we're edging the 80th minute mark.
It appears something happened after the play. Mitch Haynes receiving a yellow card for a foul on Jose Aguilar just a few seconds ago. And a conversation between the center official as he's reaching for the back pocket, and that'll be a red card.
He's out.
And now things just got very interesting in this one as a red card is shown.
Who else? Who else? What are we doing
It'll
here?
be Mitch Haynes that gets the
surely
first
now it's
red
going to be over
card.
5 minutes of it at it.
And it'll be Jose Aguilar.
Did we have 3?
So both teams now down to 10 men, and irate Mitch Haynes will exit the field for the final time this season, and Jose Aguilar is off the pitch as well. So 2 red cards to both teams.
And again, we talk about actually giving some praise to Inter Detroit for their betterment of not taking so many red cards, and what happens here? Boom. This is extraordinarily uncharacteristic for Lansing Common. Maybe he got a little, the card just flew out. Guy, have we ever had a player red carded in club history?
I don't think we
I don't
have.
believe it.
I don't believe there has been.
We've had a sending off.
And all this does is add more time on to the end of the full 90.
Absolutely.
Both coaches wanting an explanation for why their players were sent off. Mitch Haynes, the recipient of an initial yellow card just a few moments ago, and a few words and maybe a few actions displayed by both Jose Aguilar and Mitch Haynes sees both of them sitting on the bench for the rest of tonight's contest. So both teams now down to 10 men. And on the field, the only a few other players on the pitch.
I'm going to go to a statement here, and I'm not sure how accurate this is going to be, but I'm going to quote one Eric Winalda, who I thought was brilliant when he said it. Players win games, coaches lose them, and referees ruin them. So my hope is that this is not in the initial stages of ruining this match and ruining how important this game is for both sides and the league in general. So I don't know about those red cards.
Mitch Haynes on the way to the locker room right now as Inter Detroit looking to restart play.
I will say this, now you have to look for advantages, and the advantage for our team is the 3 dynamic players we have up front, right? So you guys look at hockey, you look at when it goes to 4-on-4, there's more space. There's more space for G, for Ty, and for one Jack Voigt to operate in. And conversely, there's going to be more space for the opponent to operate in too, but I like our chances when you go 10 aside.
So Inter Detroit losing a forward in Jose Aguilar. Lansing Common losing a defensive midfielder in Mitch Haynes. And lots of open space now in the middle of the park.
It's going to be really interesting to see how Coach Sorg shifts and rotates his team here a little bit in the midfield, as you want to keep those 3 players as a threat, but you want to be careful that you're not outnumbered in the midfield.
It'll be Perez to take the throw in along the far side.
And quite honestly, guys, our outside players, our wings have defended so deep the majority of this half it's almost like we played 5 in midfield for the majority of this half.
Perez now on the ball. They'll go back to the aforementioned Davion Page. And Inter Detroit, after equalizing things early on in this second half, have looked the better of the two sides in the second 45.
And Cam, I don't disagree with you, but at the end of the day, we are not looking for perfection. We are looking to win the match.
That's a free kick outside the box. Right side of Gershom Sylvan taken down.
I want you guys to watch this because it's a special kind of connection between Mark and Munir.
And this is exactly the range that they could go from.
This is in shooting distance here.
Let's see exactly what's been...
Brent Sorg having a word with Landon Hungerford on the touchline. Sorry, Jack Lockerbie.
I want you guys to see exactly what's drawn up here on this set piece. And again, just his movement. You guys can look at that. You look at a player like Gershom. He hasn't been seen or heard from for the better part of this half. He pops up and he makes a great play and he gets fouled. Now watch this. I just want you guys to watch this. Oh, a little tricky.
It is simply sensational from a midfield magician as Mark Wishmeyer connects and puts his team back on top and sends the home crowd into pandemonium. It's Lansing Common 2, Inter Detroit 1.
That
and
magical
Mark Wishmeyer may have just put the finishing touches on a truly remarkable season.
The magical left foot of Mark Wishmeyer finds that far left post. And boy, were they working on that all week.
And the set-piece trickery once again works in favor of Lansing Common. They've been due for one in the past 3 weeks as Mark Wishmeyer and Munir Shirali, the school ground plays work once again, and Wishmeyer and the rest of the Lansing Common bench.
And Lansing is dreaming right now. Receiving
an upward applause with just about 5 minutes left to go until stoppage time. And as everybody in this 4-man booth has mentioned, there will sure to be plenty of it. As everybody once again getting back into their seats and a moment of recovery from us in the booth.
I think 3 minutes of stoppage time is adequate.
That'll be a low end of the stick of the turnover. McCarthy and crest right off his line, but Sylvan still with it. Sylvan in the backtrack from McCarthy. Uziak at the edge of the box. Uziak. And that one's scuffed on its way through. And Lansing Common smelling blood in the water, trying to make it 3. But they'll have to wait a few more moments as Reski came up big when his team needed him most. Nick Yono, who received a yellow card for his infraction on the set-piece goal from Mark Wishmeyer. He's the latest person from either team to go into the books. Page, well out of position. To Kearns. Kearns with the right foot, and that one sneaks through! Luke Kearns, just moments after Lansing Common takes the lead. It's a gaff in between the sticks, and we're tied once again. It's Inter Detroit 2, Lansing Common 2.
Let's look at this substitution. Does it change? Does it change Aiden Ancliffe coming on?
Aiden Ancliffe coming on for Zane Arnold at the right back position. But let's go back to that strike from Inter Detroit. A good cut with his right foot. Send it straight through Ethan Brandt.
In this particular moment, again, you have to get your wits about you. You have to concentrate. You have to slow down and calm down.
And Sylvan trying to go for goal. That'll go well over the crossbar. And that is something that Sylvan did last week as well.
Again, that's what I mean. You got to calm down. This is Midwest Premier League on for a title. You're not beating a goalkeeper from there off no touch. Calm down. Play your game. Takes a second to score a goal, as we've already seen that.
Wishmeyer caught in possession, able to win the ball back. But it'll go out for an Inter Detroit throw-in with just under 2 minutes left to go before stoppage time.
Ethan Brandt needs to clear the cobwebs. He is a phenomenal goalkeeper. So right now, that's...
And that Moody Shirali taken down at halfway.
And Shirali, that one, a late sting, and it'll be Bros that'll go into the books for a delay.
And here we are, just inching the 89th minute mark. Expected to see a good amount of stoppage time with 2 goals in the last 10 minutes of play.
And Munir Shirali in a heap of pain just at the halfway line. And the substitution for Lansing Common, Zane Arnold off for Aiden Antclift, who makes one of his few appearances for the club. Scored 37 goals, had 7 assists last season for Okemos High School. He was a first-team All-State selection and will currently play his collegiate soccer at Purdue University, Fort Wayne.
And a fantastic young man, fantastic player. He had to wait a little bit for his opportunity, and he waited patiently, did the right things. Really happy for him. Really disappointed to see this. You don't want to see any of our players injured, especially this young man.
As Munir Shirali, the slight gimp off the field, being attended to by head trainer Michelle, as we get
He'll rub some dirt on it or some rubber, and then he'll get right back on the pitch and do his thing as captain of this team.
And we'll get the confirmation here of 9 minutes of stoppage time upcoming to end this game.
It's a whole nother ball game now, Cam.
We've got plenty of weapons here, boys.
It'll be Lockerbie to send it in as we are into stoppage time. Looking up for Sylvan. Reski able to collect it first as Inter Detroit can have numbers forward. Kearns trying to get the backtrack was Wishmeyer. It'll find Bros. And in on goal, Cavelli. Cavelli with a chance! And it's Giovanni Cavelli who breaks it and gives his team the lead for the first time of today as Inter Detroit jumps on top of Lansing and jumps atop the Midwest Premier League East Division table. It's Inter Detroit 3, Lansing Common 2.
And it was a free lane to goal right there, and no mistake about it with the finish. Coolly slots it past Ethan Brand over to that lower right post. Well done with the finish, and what a time to do it for Inter Detroit.
And Inter Detroit, Josh, you said one team punches, another team punches back.
Here we are again at a 3-2 match, and again, just takes a second to score a goal, and we've got at least, I think, 7.5 minutes.
As Giovanni Cavelli scores in the 90th +1, a minimum of 9 minutes, as there will sure to be at least another minute given to the celebration. As we'll get a substitution after the goal for Lansing Common. Kai Francisco in for Munir Shirali as his season and possibly his Lansing Common career is over. Balon. Inter Detroit with one hand securely fastened onto the trophy. Bros. 1-on-3 to Kearns. Or excuse me, Cavelli. And he'll just dump it to a vacant area for Kevin Payne to collect, but a turnover for Lansing Common.
Corner.
It'll be Jack Voigt with time and space. Wishmeyer now. Back to Voigt. Lansing Common needs 1 goal to keep their title hopes alive for another day. Voigt trying to work around Cavelli to Francisco. Uziak along the near side. Uziak. Lawfully.
Great ball.
Far side for Voigt.
He's on.
Jack Voigt tried to center it off of McCarthy. It'll go out for a throw-in.
It's okay. Throw-ins are as good as corners.
With just over 7 minutes still left to go in the minimum 9 minutes of stoppage time. Uziak to Voigt. Tried to find anyone in the middle, but no one was there besides big Davion Page. But Lansing still with control. Wishmeyer trying to send it in, and Reski there to collect. for Enter, and he'll hang on. And with no worry from the opposition, Reski able to take as much time as possible, but Inter Detroit looking to stretch this midfield and forward group of Lansing Common here
Back
late.
press. Lines up, lines up, lines up.
McCarthy
Going.
will go back to Brandon Reski.